بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum. The Lahore Ahmadiyya community welcomes you to its Sunday morning broadcasts. I just want to make it clear to you that the Lahore Ahmadiyya community was created by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian. And he taught us that the Holy Prophet Muhammad was the very last prophet. And after the Holy Prophet Muhammad, no prophet can come, whether it is an old prophet or a new one. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad also taught us that the Holy Quran consists of all the revelation that was received by the Holy Prophet Muhammad. Nothing has been left out of it. And he also taught that the Holy Quran is complete and perfect. None of its verses are abrogated. None of its verses were abrogated, or are abrogated, or shall ever be abrogated until the very last day. He also taught us that jihad is a duty of every Muslim. And no one, because Allah has made it a duty for the Muslims in the Holy Quran, then no one can abrogate it. But jihad means to struggle and strive. And the form it takes may change depending on the time and the place and the situation. If you're attacked with the sword, then you will defend yourself with the sword. This is the example of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. He preached peacefully, but when attacked by the sword, Muslims defended Islam and their community with the sword. But when attacked with other things, such as criticism, etc., the Holy Prophet replied appropriately. There is an incident in the life of our beloved Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is generally somehow not mentioned. In Makkah, they had a problem. After the Holy Prophet had migrated to Medina 1 year in Makkah, they had a problem. It didn't rain. A whole year, more than a year, it didn't rain. And Abu Sufyan went to Medina asked the Holy Prophet to pray for rain for people of Makkah. And our beloved Prophet showed no hesitation at all. And he asked Muslims to join him in prayer for people of Makkah. This is the example that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam set of how to be. Who was Abu Sufyan? The leader of the people who persecuted Muslims. The person who made the life most difficult for the Holy Prophet Muhammad. The person who arranged a plot to have him assassinated. And yet, when he went to Makkah, the Holy Prophet dealt with him civilly, politely, and acceded to his request. The topic of today's broadcast is emulate the companions of the Holy Prophet. And as I have explained to you previously many times, Hazrat Saab wrote books and he wrote pamphlets and he wrote letters, but in addition, he made many speeches. And people would take down in their own words what he had said, and then it would be printed in a newspaper of the community the following day. And these are called Malfuzat, as you can see from the first page here. Malfuzat, volume 2, and we're going to look at page 150, and someone has given it a subtitle, Emulate the Companions radiallahu ta'ala anhum of the Holy Prophet. So, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib says, look at the companions of the Holy Prophet. What lengths they went to remain in the company of the Holy Prophet. And whatever they did, it is incumbent upon my organization that they color themselves in the same color. You cannot attain to the objective for which I have been sent unless you do that. Are your needs greater with the companions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad not have the same needs? But still, can you not see how keen they were to pray with the Holy Prophet Muhammad and to hear what he had to say? And I skip something and I carry on. Prayer for those who entered into my back. My heart grieves that Allah may bestow upon my organization the same rewards as he bestowed upon the companions of the Holy Prophet. And that sincerity and honesty and obedience and loyalty is developed in members of this organization in the same way as it was in the companions of the Holy Prophet. And except for God, they should not fear anyone. They should become pure, for God loves the pure. Inna Allaha ma'al muttaqeen. And then Hazrat Sahib says, signs of true faith. In God's path, to bear all manner of trials and tribulations and difficulties and be prepared for them can only happen through true faith. True faith is a strength which gives you courage and bravery. And we can see its example in the lives of all the companions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with all. When they joined the Holy Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then what was it that made them join? A helpless and weak person. What reward did they expect? The eye could not see anything except that by joining him, they will make everyone else their enemy. And the result of that will be that a mountain of calamities shall fall upon them and grind them down and waste them. But there is another eye which considered such trials and tribulations and calamities nothing. And that I considered it to be joyous to die in that path. What that eye saw could not be seen with those eyes that only see what is apparent. It is hidden. It is hidden without hidden. It is hidden within hidden. That is the eye of faith. That is the strength of faith. We showed them that all these calamities and trials and tribulations are nothing. Eventually, faith overcome. And faith showed the miracle that the one on whom they laughed and called weak and helpless, through faith, he took them upwards. The rewards which were hidden were suddenly manifested. And then the world too saw them and felt them, that yes, these are the fruits of this. It was because of their faith that that group of the companions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad never tired, never weakened, but the strength of their faith made them achieve great things. But even after having achieved those great things, What did they utter? What did they utter? We did not do, we did not achieve what we should have. Faith gave them the strength. It said that to have your head cut off in Allah's path, to lay down your life for Allah's path, is a small thing. And people of Islam at that time, when results could not be seen, said, do you not see how much the Muslims suffered at the hands of their enemies? What trials and tribulations and calamities they had to go through? Just because they said, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. But they bore them. For them to die, for it was nothing. And then Hazrat Sahib compares the state of Muslims of his time. Despite the fact that the state of faith in people has fallen so low, if a person recognizes this weakness and wants to cure it and explain the path to be walked upon for a person to attain strength and bravery from God, then he is told he is a heretic and antichrist. I say to you, if you cannot accept with certainty the results that true faith produces, at least accept them as a supposition. Even things based on suppositions can bring great results. Look at Euclid. His whole basis is supposition. But even so, what great benefits came from it. Great branches of knowledge start off being based on suppositions. Thus, if you only accept the fruits that faith bears as a supposition, even then you would not have remained empty-handed. But the situation here is this, that they consider this to be useless. I now turn again to the condition and example of the companions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, which after accepting the Holy Prophet Muhammad, they showed in practice that God who's hidden within hidden which cannot be seen by those who worship falsehood. They saw him with their own eyes. Yes, their actual eyes. If it wasn't for that, what was it? That without care, they left their people, they left their land, they left their wealth and property, they cut themselves off from their loved ones and relatives. It was only trusting in God. And what they achieved simply by basing their trust in God. If you go through history, then their achievement will fill you with astonishment. It was faith. It was only faith. It was nothing else against them. So the machinations and plans of those who craved the world, but they were not successful. In numbers, in organization, in wealth, they had much more, but they didn't have faith. And only because of this lack of faith were they destroyed. And they did not succeed. But through having this faith, through having this power of faith in them, the companions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad succeeded everywhere. They heard the call of a person who, despite the fact that he had been brought up as an ummi, as an unlettered person, but famous was he for his honesty, for his truthfulness, for his righteousness. So when he said, "I am from Allah," they immediately joined. And then they followed him. Then they followed him like crazy people. And they followed him like they put worldly considerations to the wind. I say this again, there was only one thing that turned them into this. That was faith. Remember, faith in God is a great asset. And I have read out this because in some places the Hori Ahmadis are facing great difficulties and trials and tribulations. And I admire their loyalty and their sacrifices, that they're standing firm. They're standing firm, although they're being thrown out of schools and colleges, and their jobs, and their houses are being burnt down. and their families slaughtered or put in prison. And yet, the power of their faith is a beacon of light for us all. But they look to us, those in countries where such persecution is not taking place, to raise the standard of this organization. If they can go to the top of their house and cry out, "You have come to kill me, I am a Lahori Ahmadi, kill me. I am not afraid. God is with me." Then what is stopping those who are in countries where this persecution is not taking place from doing the same thing? Has an easy life, has money, has comfort, has lack of persecution weakened our faith? Is that the reason? Their women and children are being slaughtered, and they stand firm. And some I hear in other countries say, "What will my friends say if I celebrate Eid on the same day as Ahmadis? What will my friends say if they find out I'm a Lahori Ahmadi?" We are what gives them hope. They know that in another land where Ahmadis were killed, blood is still running. It hasn't stopped running for 100 years, because that was God's promise that this will happen. They know that their land will be colored with their blood. Their houses will be burned and their children slaughtered in front of their eyes before they are slaughtered. But as their families are cut to pieces, they look to those Lahori Ahmadis in free countries to raise their standard ever higher. Some people say, let's be cautious. Are they being cautious? Some people say, just propagate Islam. So what will you say about death of Jesus? What will you say about jihad? What will you say about theory of abrogation and 1,000 other things? When you say to someone, the Holy Prophet Jesus died, he's not going to come back, his immediate response is not going to be, prove it to me from the Quran. His immediate response is going to be, oh, so you're a Mirzai, you're an Ahmadi. Hazrat Sahib himself said to Khwaja Kamaluddin, by leaving me out, what Islam will you present to the West? What Islam will you preach to the West? Are we going to disappoint those who are holding firm to their faith? despite torture and persecution and starvation and death, because our lives are comfortable and easy, and our friends and relatives are more important to us than our faith. We want to please Saudis more by joining them on the wrong day to celebrate Eid, to please our non-Ahmadi friends and relatives. Let us do what we can to help and support those who are flying the flag of being Lahori Ahmadis under such trying conditions, who are firm in their faith. Every morning when you wake up, look in the mirror and ask this question: what did I do? What did I do today for those Lahori Ahmadis who are laying down their lives in this cause? And if you can't come up with anything, then you should feel ashamed. How will you answer God on the day of judgment? How will you answer the Holy Prophet Muhammad on the day of judgment? Will you be able to look them in the eye? Will you bow your heads and look to the ground in humiliation and embarrassment and say, my in-laws, my brother-in-law, my friend, my next-door neighbor, my colleagues, they were more important to me than my faith, so I sacrificed it? Is that how you're going to answer the Holy Prophet Muhammad and Allah on the day of judgment? Listen to the words of the promised Messiah, what he said about faith. And look at the example of the companions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad and the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself. And those of your own members who are laying down their lives in front of your own eyes. They should be more important to you. Not just human calamities, but all calamities, wherever they befall. As the Holy Prophet said, you should be like a body. If there is a pinprick anywhere in your body, the whole body should shiver with pain. If that is not the case, then you're just playing with your faith. You can call them yourselves whatever you want, whatever you like, but you're just playing with it. But remember, you and I, one day we will have to answer for our deeds and our actions. We've gone over our time slightly, so I take my leave of you with this request. Please, every day, in every prayer, in every prostration, pray to Allah for help. Pray to Allah to strengthen your faith. And mostly pray to Allah to ease the burden of our brothers and sisters. They are a beacon of light for us. They regard us as a beacon of hope for them, that they will lay down their lives. But that does not mean that Lahori Ahmadis will perish. Let us follow that light. Let us follow that example. And in every prayer and in every sajda, pray to Allah, because He is Almighty. Pray to Him for their safety and their protection and His help only. Until we meet again tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time, when we broadcast an Urdu lesson in the Holy Quran, and then at 7:30 the same lesson is repeated in English. These things are on our radio station website, which is Radio Virtual Mosque at mixlr.com, and of course on Facebook and on YouTube. With my prayers to Allah for everyone's safety and security. Assalamu alaikum. Khuda Hafiz. Goodbye.